I was very bored, always looking for new games to download via torrent. I wanted something innovative, a challenge that matched my level as a hardcore gamer. I ended up browsing the deep web among the numerous hacker communities, looking for a complex game, not impossible or enigmatic, but one that was full of open and dynamic possibilities. In the end, I was recommended a game via a link. The game was called Life 2 Zero. I started downloading it, but it weighed a whopping 100 gigabytes. Not even the biggest game that would come out in 10 years would weigh so much. I wondered what this game could contain to be so heavy. How gigantic it must be. The download took a long time, and mind you, I had an excellent connection, and I was the only one with a computer on at home. That day, I had to leave my PC on for 24 hours before the download was complete. I opened the file, and it was full of encrypted folders. I started the setup, and the program asked me to confirm that I was of legal age, doing everything willingly, and that I wouldn't file a complaint in case of side effects. Then it asked me one last question: do you know who you are? To this, I could answer yes or no, but only by answering yes was it possible to start the installation, so I accepted it. However, the installation took several hours, and the computer was obviously struggling. A shortcut was created on the desktop, and the game started. This game was similar to Game of Life, the algorithmic program created to observe geometric shapes that evolve, proliferate, die, and move in a grid with certain rules. The principle was the same. The grid had rules that made some die and others survive. Who moved where the grid told them to would survive. The grid was life, and you were the figures moving to adapt to its changes. The menu had only 3 options: Start, Options, and Exit. Clicking on Start asked me to select the difficulty of the game between 2 symbols found on bathroom doors, male or female. Under male, it said Easy. Under female, it said Difficult. I chose male and continued. It showed me 3 faces, one white and Caucasian with Easy written on it, one Asian with Medium written on it, and one of color with Difficult written on it. I tried clicking on Asian, but it gave me an error. The game showed me a photo of myself, saying I was white and Caucasian, and it could read my private files. I was intrigued, so I decided to continue. The game showed me a map. Some areas like Europe and America were easy. Some areas like Asia and South America were medium. And finally, Africa and the Middle East were difficult. I selected South America just to try it, but it gave me an error, telling me exactly where I lived in Europe. The game, apparently, had opened my Facebook profile and now knew everything about where I lived. Then it asked me how much money I had. Needless to say, it already knew. It had accessed my credit card. Then it analyzed all my most recent photos and created a virtual version of me, with my height, weight, hair color, and athletic and physical abilities. Finally, it made me take a psychological test with questions about my childhood, dreams, and what I saw in Rorschach drawings. Then it made me take an IQ test, 123, saying that for me, the game would be medium easy. And with that, it drew my psychological profile. It knew everything about me. And finally, the game began. My phone rang. It had just downloaded the Android app, Game of Life 2 Zero. Now, it also had my phone number. On WhatsApp, I had a new contact, which was the game itself. It started sending me automated messages and explained the rules of the game, which I will now show in full. In this game, you are the protagonist. With your characteristics, the game is your life, the money is your money. A countdown is running on your phone, analyzing your lifestyle, diet, and risks, and your possible future. It tells you how much time is left until your death, closer and more probable. I looked at the countdown. There were 40-something years left, but I was still scared by the idea that my phone had a countdown to my death. The game has only 5 rules. 1. Never die. 2. Do what makes you happy, so you won't die. 3. Become stronger and change what you want in the world to be happy and not die. 4. Become intelligent, so you can foresee dangers, become strong, and know how to become happy and not die. 5. Don't be alone. Help others. But the instructions continued. Thanks to this app, I could have a real-time map of your city with mission objectives. If you earn points, you gain more power, which makes you stronger. Watch out for other players. The map was divided into squares like in a chessboard, but some squares were white, others were yellow, and others were orange. There, my life percentage tended to decrease. The game immediately sent me an SMS with my first mission, eat a reward point. I was hungry, so I went to eat, and I earned a point. I started living this game. At first, it was just curiosity. It told me when it was best to go to the bathroom, when to eat, how much to eat, what to eat. Did research on the internet to tell me the most appropriate lifestyle, my best diet, advised me to exercise, and if I did, my score went up, and I became physically stronger. The threshold was biochemical, and it worked perfectly. The game also measured my social interactions, knew every word I sent in chat, every page in common with friends, every like, and told me how in tune I was with people, told me which friends wanted to betray me, which ones were loyal, with whom I could become very close and could be very useful in the future. The game advised me on everything. Whom to ask for help on an exam, whom to call to find something out, with whom it was better to go out. I even found the perfect girlfriend with its algorithms. Then I discovered that the game was incredibly complex. The map taken from Google Maps was divided into squares like in chess, but each square produced a different effect, like in Monopoly or the game of Goose, where each square had different shops, different risks, different people. It was all calculated. I was like a pawn moving between squares. The game also advised me on where to invest my money, just like in Monopoly. I ended up following the game to the letter, at least until the others arrived. Suddenly, I found out that life is a multiplayer game, and the opposing characters are almost always hostile, trying to get something before me, obstruct me, grab the most profitable missions. The game sometimes gave me nonsense missions like make a call to John and tell him you love him, or leave a cup of coffee at the bar and leave without looking back. These strange missions, even if they did nothing to my life, increased my points significantly. And what were points for? They served 3 purposes. The first was that they could be converted into money, with which I could buy what I wanted. The second was that I could extend my life, in case I didn't have enough of the game's advice or money to become powerful and change the world as I wanted. The third was to buy the cards. This game is a mix of Monopoly, chess, role-playing games, and all known card games. The cards are similar to playing cards. Each has special properties. To buy them, you only need to spend some points and take a photo of a regular playing card, and then it will become a life game card. An important file. The cards are used in the game to change probabilities, events. Just like in cards, there are so many rules. With a card, you can steal others' cards. You can collect them until you make a sequence. The possibilities are truly endless. The world is our game board, and the cards are our most powerful weapons. Once, I used 500 points to extend my life by a month. And what happened? I found out that I was going to a building that would catch fire, causing me damage. However, the bus that was supposed to take me there had a breakdown. Someone had tampered with it. Someone with one of those strange missions. There's a rule in this game, though, an unwritten rule, and it's terrible. I discovered it at my own expense, watching someone brutally beaten in front of me. All the points on one player's phone can be transferred to another player's phone. That's why players hunt each other, to get the points of others, to extend their own lifespan by their properties. Like a huge virtual monopoly, we hunt each other every day. The other unwritten rule is that the stronger you are, the more visible you are. And unfortunately, I became too good. Now, I started predicting the moves of opponents, their counter moves, the counter moves. Like in chess, I became practically invincible. My lifespan was extended to about 100 years now. I had many points, and I was getting richer and richer. But every day, I risked my life because I was a coveted prey. But at some point, I saw a pattern. My opponents attacked me. My allies attacked them. It was as if my enemies were coordinated by something. I call it death. It all started a few months ago when a strange presence appeared in my photos from a distance. Tall, dressed in black, with long legs and arms, faceless. Every day since I saw it, this presence was closer in my photos. Each time a few steps closer, it followed me everywhere, but I couldn't see it in real life. Only with cell phones and cameras, just barely. Since I saw it, it seems like my enemies are coordinated by an external player who uses them as pawns. And that player is death itself, that faceless, black presence. Unfortunate things began to happen around me. Car accidents, collapses, fires, misfortune increased day by day. My enemies damaged me in every way, even creating small accidental traps. My lifespan counter was always alarmed. It told me to stay indoors because it was all dark red area outside. But I fought. I used my strategy, predicted their moves and counterattacks. Death and I battled each other. It's absurd how difficult it is to survive when everything is against you, when misfortune fights you. The creature was getting closer and closer. I could almost feel its breath on my neck. My lifespan was getting shorter and shorter. In the end, however, I managed to find out what I wanted. If the world is a chessboard and the players are pawns, well, I found out where the king was. I triangulated his position and looked for him. He was in my own city, just a few steps away. I booked a bus ticket, but when I arrived, he wasn't there. I recalculated over and over again, but now death had surrounded me. Only a few days were left. The creature was just a few steps away. I can almost see it, but only through my photos. On the last day, my phone rang when it reached 0, but I wasn't dead, which was strange because the video game always got it right. The phone rang again, this time for a call, and I answered to what I thought was a call from death. Game over. It doesn't make sense. I played my perfect game. There's something wrong. It's as if the game turned against me, making my life very, very unfortunate. Yes, the game is the king, your opponent. The game, as you play, becomes smarter to try to stop you, just as you have become smarter to try to stop it. At first, enemies attacked you randomly. Then they started looking for cover, even in normal video games. Then they learned to use tactics, strategy, to take you by surprise. The game recognized you. You learned your counter moves, and in the end, you were defeated. And do you know why? Because death always gets you. Death improves itself. It's always around the corner, always finds a way to get you. You can be in only one place, but it can't. It can be anywhere. And how do you know this? Oh, I know death well. Ever since I was a child, I've seen it everywhere. I see death in the people around me. I know when they will die. I know how they will die. I feel danger. I feel all possible ways to die. Every day, at every moment, everywhere. Each with numbers and percentages. I'm a predator. You can call it a sixth sense. It's me who programmed this game. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel for more creepypastas. Until the next one.